Okay, so this is the first episode of International Students Office Hour, and we're so thrilled and excited to have our first guest on this series in the person of Edison Chukwuemeka. Edison, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, sir, for having me too.
All right, so we're going to dive right into the nitty-gritty of why we are here this evening. So I'd like you to give us a brief introduction about yourself. So let's get started.
Brief introduction about myself. You mean like my name? Well, my name is Edison Chukwuemeka. As you rightly said, I'm a Nigerian studying here in the US at Louisiana State University. Currently, I'm doing my PhD. I'm very sure you all know in mechanical engineering as posted. So it's a pleasure to join this group and to share my experience, per se, about studying abroad.
Awesome.
And living somewhere else.
Awesome. So I have a question for you on that, Edison.
Okay.
You finished your first degree, bachelor's degree, in 2008. After which,
Yes, right.
okay, if I'm not mistaken, University of Lagos, one of the top shots in Nigeria. And
if you say so.
Okay, and you proceeded to work in the industry to probably gather the experience or to gather the money. I don't know which one. And after working for a few years, you decided to come back to school in 2015, which is actually about 7 years. What was it like for you to leave work and to come and start your graduate program?
Well, what was it like? I would say tough. That's a tough decision though, but it's always been like, will I say, my goal.
Okay.
To get a PhD. That's always been a goal for me after graduating from University of Lagos to pursue my graduate studies and get my PhD at least. But I would say circumstances warranted me to like do some, at least get some funds to support myself. That was why I had to like work for a while. And when I saw it was already quite right for me to like leave working and come back to get my degree, that was why I had to like apply for my graduate school down back. So I wouldn't say it was very easy decision to take, because making money and having responsibilities to cater for, and you now decide to like leave all that to pursue a degree. Well, it was a leap for me, and for my family, it was difficult though, but it's something I just wanted like to achieve as a goal, and that was why I had to like go for it.
So it was more of a goal for you as a person. It wasn't really like, okay, maybe from your place of work, you began to see some gaps that probably people with masters or people with PhD would just come and become a boss. Or so it was more of something that was internally driven by you, something you've always wanted to do.
For me, it has always been something I wanted to.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's always been something I wanted to. But in my place of work, yeah, if you have a higher degree, so to say, it depends on the degree, or let me say the area of the degree you have.
Awesome.
For you to be the boss in my place of work. Probably I was fortunate to work in a company that allows individuals to grow from the least position to being a manager. But I felt that route wasn't what I really wanted. I've always wanted to get this degree, then probably maybe after getting the degree, then I can now concentrate on that.
Awesome. So
for me, it was a goal.
Oh, awesome.
Based on career or perspective or so.
Awesome. So the transition, like moving from an industry back into the academics environment. So how was it like for you?
That to be frank, really, it was tough. At the very, let me say, first few weeks of getting back into going to class, trying to study. Though some things that I knew back then in the university days was still there, but trying to recall most of the principles and trying to give the whole attention to studying was initially daunting on me, but I've always been like, I'll probably say I was lucky to work somewhere that we always have the challenge of spending time working at night and trying to do some tasks for a long period of time. That as well helped because since I've always been in that habit of doing a job for a very long period of time, gave me that zeal to focus more on my study and get back to being a student, get back to the attitude of being a student and doing all the routines student needs to excel in his classes. So I would say I was fortunate. Well, probably if you are not fortunate as mine, maybe you are this type of person that is working,
sitting down,
8 to 5,
awesome.
Sitting down, it might be a challenge for you. Because at the end of 5 p.m., when you get home, you probably just sleep off. The next day, you continue with your normal routine. You might find that, you might find it challenging. Those few first semester, you might find it challenging to go back into the routine of concentrating, going to classes, trying to meet up with assignments, trying to meet up with projects, and also probably try to do some things regarding your research work. Might probably be a bit challenging too.
Awesome.
So, challenging for me. It's challenging for me though, but I'll probably say not as challenging as if I was doing the normal 8 to 5 jobs.
Oh, awesome. So I quite agree with you on that because so the nature of my job too, before I left and decided to come to to face this challenge of graduate program. So I was working in the NOC, that's Network Operations Center, whereby we work something you can call 24/7 operations. Even though we were running shift, but it's a kind of job that you really have to be on your feet, like you have to work around the clock. So I was already used to working at night, late night, going in the evening. I mean, always on the road. So maybe anybody who is also planning to take on graduate program can begin to have some pre-exercises in that way. Even if you're doing 8 to 5 job, you can probably be staying up at night, try to read, try to probably go over some books, just to keep yourself mentally ready. What do you think then?
My opinion about that would be it depends on the individual.
Awesome.
Because that would depend on the individual. The individual is not the type of person that has to have a goal or something to look up for him to be able to spend that time studying or trying to put himself back in spending all the nights doing something relevant. That might be challenging. Because when you spend all the time doing something at night,
productive,
when you all sleeping, the next day you might probably start falling asleep, and that might as well affect your performance at work. which is not what you would like to like, which basically every one of us would not like to happen. It is better for you to like leave your place of work, even though you want to go back to study, in a good time, so like doing everything as required. So I would say it depends on the person, if the person will have the ability to do that, and as well not affect
the work.
Yeah, if it will not affect the work, then that is a good idea to start practicing, to come into the gear of like being a student. But if that will affect your performance at the job, I would say you probably just continue with the routine of the job. When the time is right for you to like come back into the school life, take up a challenge and do it.
You adapt.
That's my own view. Yeah.
Adapt.
You
yeah.
totally adapt to it.
Awesome. There are things that will make you adapt. I understand.
Yeah, for sure. You have no choice, because when you are sure that, oh, if I don't spend it, if I don't spend like this extra hour doing this, my grade is going this way. So if my grade is going down, for sure I cannot allow that to happen. So I'll give it all the best, all it takes.
Awesome.
That's my own policy, and that is what I advise anyone to do.
Awesome. So let us eat on the first things you had to do when you decided that graduate school was right for you. Yeah, because I've had a lot of people, for someone like me, maybe I was lucky enough. I already knew people like you when I was starting to get ready for my graduate school. So I already knew people like you. My wife was already a PhD student. So I had this kind of familiarity with, I've been coming to the US even before I started, like you also know. So what I'm trying to say is I had some soft landing. I was able to visit some schools. I was able to go in person, talk to graduate school coordinators. But some of our friends or some of our aspiring graduate students, they will probably have they don't have this kind of opportunities. So what was it like for you in 2015 to start looking for schools to attend, countries to go? You had so many options, Germany, Canada. So why US? How did you get started?
Basically, in my own case, I've always been focused on getting to a school that will have, will I say, a means or a kind of scholarship for me.
Awesome.
Because my background is very low, like financially, and if I don't have like a form of scholarship, it's very certain that I might not be able to achieve my goal.
Awesome.
And that has been the reason why I spent like some time working. Because going back to when I graduated, I should have started the program back then, but financial challenges withheld me from that. I applied to like schools that did not require, exams, and I was offered admission. But the challenge at those times was, can you afford it? I couldn't afford it. So I actually had admission from Liverpool University of Liverpool at the time, but the scholarship they offered was just like 20% of the tuition. And the 80%, if I did not work, I cannot afford it. Like, so that's really will I say, that was what canceled any intention of going all the way to the UK. Because if I'm going to the UK, I will need my phone to pay. Then when I asked around and I got to know about the US, and I knew that some form of like scholarship in form of assistantship are being offered to graduate students. So that was why I opted for US.
Awesome.
And considered everything to do with it. That was what I did. So I considered the US and neglected other countries. I know there are the same form of assistantship in Australia and Canada, but the US I considered based on the standardized form of admission that they have.
Awesome.
Because I felt with the US form of application, I do not need to like make contact with a given professor for the professor to accept me before the school could accept me.
Awesome.
You understand? Like, from my own view, you need to like have someone in Canada when you're applying that will help you to like maybe meet with a given professor, what your abilities are, and they will have you accepted into the school through the professors. That was what I was like getting from people that were studying there. Because I had a friend who studied there at the time, but we weren't that close. We were just like distant friends. But the information he passed to me was I need to like make contact with professors, and I tried making contact, but nobody replied me, and that was what deterred me from going towards the Canadian universities. Okay. But in the case of the US, you could contact professors, they could reply you back, and you also have standardized exams that you would have to like show that you are qualified to be a graduate student. So those forms of standardization was what moved me to the United States.
Awesome.
But it depends. I'm not saying that because I am in the US that you also, or whoever that wants to probably further his graduate study has to come to the US. But that is just my own view of how I feel. I mean, it should be. And that was why I had to attend the United States.
Awesome. So when you eventually decided to come, did you start to talk to someone? Did you know anybody? How did you get to know about Louisiana State University? Why not Cornell University? What was the process like here?
Well, I did not know anybody in LSU.
Okay.
At the time I was studying, but though I had like a colleague of mine, like my classmate.
Okay.
That was in Southern.
Oh, okay.
Studying.
Southern University.
Southern University here in Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay.
So, but my view then, I did not contact him actually for an idea of which school to go to. The way I did my own research about which school to go to is I actually tried to like, I considered I'll probably say I'm a very pragmatic person.
Okay.
That places that I go to or places I applied to, I felt they should be able to consider me.
Awesome.
Based on my performance.
Awesome.
But schools that I felt, I might not be able to like meet their standard, I did not consider applying.
Awesome. I did similar things.
So initially what I did was I went through the list of schools offering mechanical engineering,
okay,
which is the department I want to go to,
okay,
offering mechanical engineering at the PhD levels. Then I went to the first 15 universities, the first 15 ranked universities doing graduate studies in mechanical engineering. And I went through each and every of the criteria.
Okay.
Like I went through MIT, Stanford, California, but I looked at each of these schools. Now, most of the applications were done earlier in the year.
Okay.
And when I looked at the criteria as well, I felt due to my job, I would never be able to meet this criteria.
Oh, awesome.
I need to perform great in GRE. And for me to perform great in GRE, I need to give it my 101% attention. But at the time I was working, and I also want to do this exam as well.
Okay.
These goals are not achievable by me. It's not as if I'm not a viable candidate for them regarding like academic wise, but I felt I would not be able to meet the standards, and I needed to start my program. So that was why I left such schools. But I considered like Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I felt Texas A&M was a good school and I
Yeah.
could still meet the criteria. I applied to those, Texas A&M, University of Texas, and Purdue. Those were the top three. I mean, the top first 15 universities that I considered.
Mm-hmm. Offering mechanical engineering.
Offering mechanical engineering. Then I went back all the way and considered I went back all the way to like first 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through their criteria too. So that was where LSU came up. That was where University of Iowa came up.
Okay.
That was where Northeastern University came up.
Awesome.
So looking at those universities, I knew I would be able to meet the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately for me, I was able to apply to just two of them, and that was Northeastern University and LSU.
Okay.
University of Iowa, I could not gather all my papers together.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I don't have the money to waste for the application fee at that time. So I said, let me not consider University of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately for me, LSU and Northeastern University gave me admission.
Okay.
Texas A&M, University of Texas declined my admission. So I'm being practical. Like,
yeah,
I need to consider options.
Yeah.
That was what I did personally. And I did everything by just submitting all my paperwork through the portal, and I did everything myself.
In fact,
I have some time off. I just go to their website, get all the information, and submit. So
and you did all this by yourself, no third party, like?
No, I did not consider any third party.
Awesome.
All I did, they were just myself pressing my computer.
Awesome.
All the way, like even the exam registration, I registered online myself. Went to the exam hall, write the exam, checked my results, and posted every other thing. Everything I did myself.
Awesome. I think we kind of shared similar stuff because even though I had an opportunity to have visited some of these schools, yet most of these things I did practically from my home country. Yeah, so from the admission to the exams and all of that. Yeah, so this means that anybody who is also willing to further their studies should kind of give it what it takes, a little bit of effort. Try to go to their website, check for which school is offering what course you want to study, and try to take it up from there. Awesome. Then you can also probably look at their Facebook pages, see if there are Nigerians or see if there are Ghanaians or Indians or whatever people from your country that you can just chat up and just get one or two information. I think that would be helpful, right?
Yeah, I think that is also, and also you could also contact most of them through LinkedIn if possible.
Oh,
awesome. I know, like while I've been for the 3 years I've been here, I've had like friends added like via LinkedIn,
asking questions.
All they needed was to get information about how I did mine and what they needed to do. So you could also contact them through LinkedIn.
Okay, so I don't need to ask you again about the standardized test. You've already mentioned stuffs around it, but maybe if I would just kind of ask questions about it, because I've had a lot of people, they want to come, they want to further their studies, but they are scared of these exams. And I can't blame people. You cannot blame them. Like someone who has probably left school for 10 years, for 7 years, they've probably lost touches on some of these things. And I faced similar fear too. Like I kept shifting the date and all of that. Yeah. So do you think that these standardized tests, they are important to the selection criteria, or like what do you make of it? What will you say to someone who is willing to come and the person probably feels that I don't want to write this exam, I just want to apply, and I know some schools that will give me admission and all of that? What will you advise someone to do in a very short time?
Well, for mine, in my view, I'm not sure if there's any school in the US that will accept any student without the GRE. I'm not sure, but I'll probably say 95% of all universities in the United States require GRE.
Mm-hmm.
So if all the most, or let me say most of the universities here in the US requires GRE, then you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to try it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've left school for like a while, all it takes is for you to like spend some time reviewing
Mm-hmm.
what the exam is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have books written on the exams. If you
Mm-hmm.
could spend some time going through the books or the book, I'm probably say the book, not books,
Mm-hmm.
going through the book itself,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to know what it entails. I think there's nothing to be scared about. It's
Awesome.
something doable, something you could achieve.
Awesome. And what I even think is, even if there are any schools that are willing to give you admission without GRE, you probably have to pay by yourself. Maybe there are some few schools that are willing to give you admission, but be ready to cough out the
Yeah,
money.
it's possible.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll probably be possible too.
All right. So, and that would probably lead me to the funding aspect, because this is also another critical moment in deciding schools and all of that. So, what was it like for you when you applied and you got admitted to LSU? Like, were you offered like any form of assistantship right from the start, or what was
Right now, okay. For my own case, in my own case, like when I was offered admission for the program, there was no assistantship.
okay?
Well, as I said earlier, I had worked and I had some savings.
Hmm.
So all my plans at the time was to come down and fund myself for the first semester,
Mm-hmm.
or possibly come down first and look for means of getting an assistantship.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to professors, you
Mm-hmm.
know, let them see your ability to perform research with them
Mm-hmm.
and see if they could offer you that assistantship.
I did
That was
similar thing.
that was what was on my mind. Like I wasn't offered that assistantship and I could not afford to like
Wait again.
wait
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But I just wanted this to be over with, and I just had to like come down first. And when I come, if I couldn't secure an assistantship the first semester,
Mm-hmm.
and I was ready to like pay for that,
Okay.
then after the next semester, I was ready to give it all
Mm-hmm.
in search for an assistantship.
So
Because
you
there's
paid
nowhere.
you paid for your first semester when you came, or
Well, in my case, I paid, but I
okay?
was refunded.
Awesome. Awesome.
The amount, the money was refunded to me
Hmm.
after I secured an assistantship.
Assistant. Awesome. So what was the assistantship process for you like? So you were able to, did you apply for that assistantship when you came, or a professor saw that you're a great fit and he just upped you, you know?
Well, I was like would I say fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I met with a professor to be my advisor
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and he accepted.
Awesome.
And the class he was teaching, we
Awesome.
get a teaching assistant.
Oh, awesome.
So and since I was a student, he submitted my name on my behalf
Awesome.
for me to
So
be offered, and the department considered me.
awesome. So, for the benefit of those who will be making similar decisions in this regard, what are like from your experience, anyways? What other financial aids do you think are available to international students?
Funding the program, like funding your graduate program here in the US, other than assistantship, there are scholarships you could get.
Okay. Okay.
But oftentimes, the scholarships are obtained in your home countries.
Oh, okay.
Like in one's home country is where you could get the scholarship. So if
Okay.
there are scholarships being offered in anyone's country,
Mm-hmm.
you should try to like search for those scholarships and apply
Okay.
before coming down to the US for the
Okay.
program.
Okay.
Because when you are in the US, I would say it is very rare for you to get scholarships
Okay.
from the US, because they also have scholarship for their own people, like the citizens. So international students are likely not. It is likely not possible for them to have
A scholarship that will cover the whole of the team.
That will cover the whole of the program, other than assistantship. You could get scholarship whereby they'll give you a stipend of maybe $5,000, $2,000, $1,000. Those are scholarships, but those scholarships will not cover your tuition fee. Those scholarships will not be able to sustain you while you are doing your program. If you need a scholarship that would sustain you while you're doing your programs, those should be obtained back at the home country where you're from.
Awesome. So quickly, Edison, you are a PhD student, but the understanding most of us had was that you need to do bachelor's, then you progress to master's, then you progress to PhD. It's like a ladder. But me coming to the US, I've seen people who just come from bachelor's straight to PhD. And I'll be like, are you telling me this opportunity is available and I never knew? So what was it like for you? Did you come for master's, or did you have your master's back at home and you applied for PhD, or did you apply for master's, you got your master's and you finished master's and you proceeded to PhD? Quickly give us a breakdown so that people can make informed decision when they want to approach.
Well, in my own case, actually, like while I was making my research about the schools and the program, I knew there are options for bachelor's straight to PhD.
Awesome.
There are options when you have like a bachelor's and you want to go straight down to PhD level. That is available. It's written in most schools' websites. And there are also options whereby you have to go through the master's programs and then to the PhD program to get your PhD. For me, what I did was I was afraid. Actually, I was afraid of applying for the PhD program and not being accepted. Because I felt for me to like be a PhD student all the way from bachelor's, I should have done some work, like,
academic related work,
probably some research work, but that I never had. And I was pondering about that if I should probably apply straight for PhD program, I might not be accepted to most schools. That was why I had to like apply for my master's.
Okay.
But when I was offered the admission when I was offered the master's admission,
okay,
and I arrived here, I discussed the option of me doing my PhD with my advisor.
Awesome.
And he said yes, that it is possible for me to do that, and he's ready to accept me.
Awesome.
As a PhD student if I really want to like go through that route and pay the price. I said yes, that has been my goal. So he wrote a letter on my behalf.
Awesome.
To change my program from master's to PhD, and that was how I became a PhD student.
So here you would say that, okay, if anybody comes as a master's student, they can probably check their options and see, because also I met with some professors when I was also looking for assistantship that would say, oh, if you were a PhD student, we would have probably offered you something. Yes. So
that was when I actually realized that probably if I'd applied for like PhD, I would have probably been admitted and also be offered assistantship. And most schools want PhD students, and they consider PhD students first in offering assistantship.
So, and I'm thinking maybe your background should probably even maybe not 100%, maybe like say 70-80% should be related enough to the PhD program. Like you from mechanical to mechanical, I think they see a lot of similarity.
That will also help too.
Okay.
But if you are changing from, let's say, mechanical to electrical, and you want to go do your PhD in electrical,
it might be difficult.
it might be, it's possible.
It's possible. Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but if you want to really get the admission, you also need to show to the body or the admission council that you already have some knowledge of electrical. And that is where probably writing a paper in regards to the research that you have done, which is also in line with electrical, comes into play. If you could do that, then that would be great.
Awesome.
Otherwise, it might be difficult in a way.
Awesome. Okay. So there's 7 years of gap that you had to first go and chase money to be able to fund your goal. So did it have any impact on your academic performance? Just in like a minute, just share with us. I know you mentioned something like that when we started, but it wasn't explicit enough. Yeah, just like a minute. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it affected my performance as a student. No.
Okay.
But the only thing I feel is the rhythm of being a student. The rhythm of being a student was probably challenging. Because changing from being a hardcore worker to becoming a student, was challenging initially. My performances, like with classes, that didn't affect much.
Awesome.
Maybe because I was good, like with my bachelor's degree. Maybe that was why, but I can't say my performance was really affected that much.
Awesome.
Like, there was no performance. There was no effect on my performance at all for the 7-year gap that I had.
Oh, but awesome.
If you're not that very good in your bachelor's, then there might be some in the sense that, while you were a youth, that's things that you might have neglected while you were in school back in the day. But right now, you know what you've done wrong and you need to correct it. So your performance should be better than what you had previously.
Awesome.
So I don't expect any performance to be affected after moving that far. That's what I feel.
So let me quickly ask this one. Is PhD challenging?
Is PhD challenging? Oh, no.
Okay, so the answer is no.
It is very challenging.
Awesome.
It is challenging.
Okay.
Yes, it is challenging.
Okay, so let's leave it at that. Yeah.
Though it's called like a goal, or though it's something worthy to have, there are a lot of challenges along the way.
Awesome.
I don't want to go into that.
Awesome. So
PhD is challenging for sure.
Many folks now want to try graduate program. For someone like me, like you, like some of my colleagues, will receive a ton of messages seeking for advice, where to start. You've shared something around that area, but I just wanted to kind of wrap it up. Like, what advice would you give to folks out there who are aspiring to pursue their graduate studies for this year 2019? Maybe they want to start in fall or whatever. So what would be your advice? Then what other tips do you have? Like, maybe, if you know of any assistantship that is opening in your department, we might be having some mechanical engineering students watching this, and they probably want to give it a shot. Maybe your school website, your departmental website, maybe your, I don't know, I don't want to say your professor's contact, but it's not secret anyways. It's right there on the website. Anybody can see it. Yeah, so just in like a minute.
So okay, for tips and advice, the only first thing I tell people is to make up your mind. The first thing you need to do is to make up your mind if you really want to go through the challenge. Because I feel it's a challenge, though it's worthy. It's a worthy challenge to take up. But you need to first of all make up your mind. And when you've decided that this is the route you want to take, then look out for the various schools that are offering the programs that you are interested in.
Awesome.
So when you look out for those schools, check out the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
The next is, if you've looked at, okay, let's say, I love Texas A&M, I love MIT, I love University of California. Okay, these are the 3 schools that I want to attend. The next thing is to check out the criteria. These 3 schools, they have their criteria posted on their website.
Mm-hmm.
Look at each of these criteria and be real to yourself. If
Can
you
I
qualify,
meet? Exactly.
if you think you qualify to meet these criteria, then write the exams.
Mm-hmm.
GRE and TOEFL.
Mm-hmm.
Your GRE score and your TOEFL score that is required, which is the minimum required, at these schools are posted.
Exactly.
So when you write the GRE scores and the TOEFL, these exams, the score that you get must be comparable to what was posted. If it is not, I would advise you change. I would advise, for me, if my GRE score is less than that's required for University of Texas, for example, but it is good enough for LSU, I'll go for LSU.
Awesome.
That is me. I'm not the type of person that will spend years pursuing one particular school due to prestige. I don't do that. I'm very practical. I would rather go for where I know I will be able to gain admission rather than spend years trying to meet a criteria that I would never be able to achieve, except I take out, except I spend some years preparing for these exams, and I'm not ready to do that.
Awesome.
So when you do that, at the school of your choice, try to get in contact with professors that are in line, that are working with, in the research that you are really interested in. Show these professors that you're interested in working with them. You are interested in their research. And how do you show that? Not just writing. Not just writing. In my view, though I did not do that in my own time, but that is what I've realized that would have helped me if I had done that.
Okay.
When I look at these professors, I look at their research, I should be able to do my own research, bring up a topic in line with their research. That professor would prefer considering you rather than considering someone else who has not showed anything. And most times, one thing we should also know is that some of these professors, they have a say in who is admitted. Most times, these professors have a say in who is admitted into the department, because who they are interested in working with for their research is far better than who they are not interested in getting admission.
Awesome.
So their input matters. And if they see that you are qualified to work with them, they would offer you admission. They could offer you admission. So you need to contact them. And that way, you secure your assistantship right before leaving your home country.
Oh, awesome.
So that is the advice I will probably give to anyone seeking admission right now.
Awesome. So I will collect your school's website. So for some people.
Okay. My school website is www.lsu.edu.
Okay. www.lsu.edu. It has been very, very, very fun and awesome and great having you on this first episode of International Student Office Hour Edison. Yeah. So our goal is to be able to talk to folks like you who are already in the system and be able to see, to learn from your experience, learn from your mistake. We are very grateful. If we have any other thing, I know I'm going to tag you on LinkedIn. so that your LinkedIn should be getting some hits.
It has been getting a lot of hits, actually.
Awesome.
Like the past 2-3 days,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of hits on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, because I tagged you, and I'm still going to tag you. We are hoping to be able to bring you next time. It's not going to be one-off. Yeah, so begin to dig.
Well, no problem. No problem.
Yeah,
I'm ready to share anything I know.
Yeah, thank you so much.